I want to introduce Kenneth Cole. And Kenneth is one of the world's leading designers, and you know him from his namesake brand, and a brand that not only continues to evolve, but also starting to thrive around the world. So, Kenneth? Thanks. And you can tell he's the designer because he's not wearing the tie. We'd love to start out with maybe Kenneth. We'd like to hear from you on your design trends and social issues.
I was sitting here listening to Mark, who's clearly very inspiring. The notion that he has ascended to this extraordinary place where he can truly impact so many people's lives in such a profound way is overwhelming. And I really do wish you luck, and I look forward to seeing how well you do. And Clayton, I'm inspired, and I'm going to go buy a milkshake on my way home tonight. But you should know I have a day job. Okay, this is not what I do in the ordinary course. And I was flattered to have been asked to do this. I wasn't totally sure why, but it dawned on me while I was over here, and I realized that Ford, I think, is 111 years old. Is that what you said?
Yep.
And I have retweeted Henry Ford for some time. I'm so impressed and so inspired by his message of creativity and innovation. And but it dawned on me that where I have credentials here is that I am a purveyor of the original form of transportation. And it's what you wear on your feet, which preceded anything Henry Ford did or had to say. But in footwear, arguably, still continues to be more efficient. It's less expensive, doesn't go as fast and as far, also has had less recalls. The footwear business is not something you should not disregard while you're here in Detroit this week. So a favorite adage of mine is that before you judge somebody, you should walk a mile in their shoes. And then if you don't like them, you're a mile away and you have their shoes. The company is still Kenneth Cole Productions, Inc. We were traded on the New York Stock Exchange for 20 years. We went private last year, probably the greatest day of the last 20. And the company to this day is Kenneth Cole Productions, Inc. And we keep the name, and I tell the story periodically because it reminds us of the importance of resourcefulness and problem solving, and the best solution in our business is rarely the most expensive, it's almost always the most creative. So that was the journey I set out upon, and it was a journey I stayed on, and every day trying to reinvent and recalibrate and recontemplate. Is overwhelming, but it's very energizing at the same time. But our business, change in our business is basically the foundation of everything we do. And if you don't have a platform that has the ability to respond to the unanticipatable and the unpredictable, you won't survive, because nobody today has the ability to anticipate all the innovation and creativity that is happening around us at such extraordinary rates and to such extraordinary degrees. So we've built a business based upon that, which is probably what has enabled us to sustain this long. Today, fashion is nothing like what it was in so many ways. Fashion used to emanate on the runways of Paris and Milan, and it got to New York maybe 6 months later, and Detroit 3.5 years after that. And but not really, actually. Detroit, it actually was very forward. Our second store, by the way, was here in Birmingham. You say, why am I doing this, and why am I working all these hours? And how do I make it maybe more meaningful than it is? It can't just be about money. And I went through this personal journey in 1985, and there was this whole consciousness that was pervasive across this country in that period of time. Most of you guys are probably too young to remember this. And his wife calls him on the phone, and she says, honey, you better get home fast. I just heard there's a lunatic on the same road you're on driving in the wrong direction. And he says to himself, sweetheart, it's worse than that. There are hundreds of them.
All right, we'll take it from there. I love.
And the story is, and the payoff is that even if you're going in a different direction, even if you're going the wrong way, doesn't mean you're going in the wrong direction. So, and I think it kind of feeds back to the story that we just heard. And thank you for allowing me to be here.
Very good. Thank you. And I love your comment around sometimes the most creative ideas are the least expensive when you think about it. But I just have a couple of questions. The one I really want to ask both of you is, we talk a lot about innovation, and we talk a lot about companies needing to innovate, and companies are made up of people, right? So are innovators created, or can they be developed? How about you, Kenneth?
So actually, I was thinking of a story I read a long time ago, that I read that a canary, if born and raised in the absence of other canaries, will most likely go through life never singing a song, never realizing that it had this God-given gift.
Really great insights. That's really great. And we appreciate you spending the evening for us.